Okay, so now we are live on YouTube. I believe that those on YouTube can hear me. So let's get to it. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm going to believe that you can see my screen. And I believe that at this point, everyone has been learning to use Zoho Deluge. So the question is, we have Zoho Creator and we have Zoho Flow. At what point do you use both or either of these apps? It can be very difficult to decide, especially when you have fair knowledge of both of them. But let's start from understanding the purpose of both apps. Zoho Creator allows you to create applications for businesses. You can build apps from the scratch. You can make bespoke solutions. We've done, about 2 dozens now, and we're still building more. And we're still open to guide others to build more, or those who haven't even started. You can always reach out through community. That's webworktools.com/community. Okay, now what does Zoho Flow really do? Zoho Flow allows you to do one thing right, integrations. For you to integrate with an application, you have to understand automation. A lot of people do not understand automation, and that's why they get integrations wrong. Automation is not just about speed. Automation is not just about complexity. Maybe demystifying complexity, yes, but it's a lot more than that. Automation is about context. So I will give you an example. Yesterday, I started a part of a project that we've been working on for a while. We've had this project, we've used it, and it has worked. It's called the Agenda Server. We use it to help us to remember things in our business. Now, this app has been sending us emails, single emails for each agenda. So if we have something coming up in the next 1 day or 3 days or 7 days, let's say we have something coming up in 1 day, in 3 days, and in 7 days. This app was sending us 3 emails to tell us. That was a bit untidy because every time our mailboxes get flooded with notification emails about our obligations, which of course are things that we should be get. What we did yesterday was to modify this app. Of course, that's as good as doing a surgery. We worked on this app and we made it to start sending consolidated reports. What do we mean by consolidated reports? What we mean is that instead of sending 3 emails, as long as those items are within their necessary due or scheduled dates, the system will automatically send one email to cover all the matching schedules. So that way we reduce inbox clutter. But that kind of activity is something that is tedious. And while it is tedious, it can be done with Zoho Creator and it can also be done with Zoho Flow. But let me tell you now, the distinguishing factor between Zoho Creator and Zoho Flow is that Zoho Creator allows you to do everything and anything. Basically, to integrate, to create extensions, to write, like you can do so much inside Zoho Creator. But Zoho Flow is for the purpose of other applications. Zoho Flow is not to be used as a standalone automation tool. If you want to integrate a payment service from a different application to maybe Zoho One, you will use Zoho Flow only if the payment service is talking as a stranger. Okay, so I'll put it this way. So if you have a guest, let's say you are at home and you have a guest, you would take your time to give the guests, to serve the guest maybe a meal or snack or something to entertain the guest, yes? So you probably put a bottle of water or maybe you give them wine or something. You pay attention to details so that you can make your guests comfortable. So you can make it a habit that every time that guests come to your house, they get well treated, they eat very well, they get a bottle of wine, or whatever it is that suits your taste of, excellence in serving your guests. But then imagine that every time you come home and maybe you want to eat something, you begin to, no doubt, you can organize your table, but we will all agree that once in a while, you just want to chew a sandwich. Once in a while, you just want to take tea. So that kind of thing, that kind of activity is a Zoho Creator kind of activity. So you want to just solve a problem, you use Zoho Creator. You want to do a particular thing, you use Zoho Creator. So you keep using it to solve problems. But Zoho Flow is different. Zoho Flow is like your minder at home. It's like your steward. Zoho Flow makes sure that anytime an external app is giving you information, you organize that information like a pro, and the beautiful part, without writing too much of code. While maybe you want to also export data to another application, and you're not such a software engineer, you just want to do your thing. Maybe you want to push something to a Google Sheet automatically. I mean, some ordinary things that you might think you need a software engineer for, but you do not need that. You can even have your database on your spreadsheet. No one says you should learn SQL. No. You could just have maybe people fill a form and the data goes to your Google spreadsheet. Something as simple and ordinary as that. Click, 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 and it gets done. So the advantage that Zoho Flow brings to the table is that following the same engineering recommendations, following the same technical standards, you as a citizen software engineer can just use Zoho Flow to just do your automation. But Zoho Creator, in as much as you can use it to build an app for yourself, at some point, very early in the process, you will be learning Zoho Deluge. Because there are edge cases in Zoho Creator that you need to deal with. But for Zoho Flow, there are not many edge cases for the general end user. So the general end user can just use Zoho Flow and take care of themselves. It is only when you want to do something spectacular that you will need to do deep customization in Zoho Flow. Let's talk about something spectacular. Let's say you want to move records from Zoho Books to Zoho. Let me see. Let's try Zoho CRM to Zoho Books. So this is a typical Zoho flow integration. I want a situation where records in Zoho CRM are pushed to Zoho Books. Now let me tell you one thing you cannot do with Zoho Flow. With Zoho Flow, you cannot automate the process of import and export without scripting it or without making it part of a workflow. The workflow has to go step by step as one action. Zoho Flow will not allow you to push 100 records and push 100 records back. But just in case you want to do something as complicated as that, that is where you need to write a function. And all these things, as mighty as they are, will not allow you to do that. So let's try to create something interesting. Let's say for CRM, we go to Zoho CRM. And here we have entry created or updated. We already have an integration here. So we choose contacts. So what has happened now is that when an entry in the CRM is created or updated, this flow is going to execute. So let me go and let me see. We need to go to CRM and see context clues. Okay, so we have our CRM here, and there's a record in it. So let's go to the Zoho flow, and it says when the entry is created or updated, there's contacts. Let's go to contacts. Okay, good. There's no contacts here. So we are going to use created or updated. Now, Zoho Flow may not give you this luxury. I think it's only with Zoho tables, but with other Zoho applications, you cannot delete with Zoho Flow. You cannot delete. So you can only update, create, and carry out other actions. So with this entry created or updated, we want to have a filter. That's why I opened the Zoho CRM tab. Okay, so let's try to check for a field that we can use as a okay, let's say lead source is let me use partner. So this lead came from my partner, yes? So when a lead comes like that, what do you do with it? So let's say we want to let me see. I'm thinking of how to. Okay, let's say we want to create a special output from this flow. Let me just use output. So we're going to have to create a function. This function is going to be see test outlook. Let's try to let us make this function a map. So we'll make the function a map. So why are we making this function a map? Because I want to change some information. Let me go to Zoho Books. You know, naturally, you can just push your data into Zoho Books and it will go seamlessly. But if you go to Zoho Books, we need to be able to. Okay, there's a John Doe here. Okay. So let's call this test outlook. And the input parameters will be first name, first name, last name, that's for string, and let's include title. Okay. So the function is overflow has been created. So for us to use this function, we have to be prepared to get output from it. So let's say map. No, sorry. Outcome is equal to map. And then we have outcome that puts is equal to status. So outcome, okay, that puts message. Outcome that put. Okay. So let's try to now bring out the name. So we'll say if first name equals, okay, this status now is going to be by default false. This message is going to be empty. And I think this is it really. The first name is empty. And last name. Okay. So if this is, let's say if this is not blank, because it's always blank. Okay. Last name. Let's include the title field. Yeah. So now, time to express this field. I'm going to take this outcome now. Okay. So let's outcome output message. Now let's put the message the way it's supposed to be. Title plus first name plus give a space. Okay. Okay. So we'll put the status as true. Okay. Now, okay. I think that we need to. So we'll put this as true. Then we can return outcome. Okay. Good. So we can return outcome now. Okay, now I didn't close this properly. Again, I did not put a comma here. And we're good. So let's test this function. I put my name, I put my surname, I put this here. So it shows the break of the function, but it shows my full name properly spelled out. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to use this function to pass this data to Zoho CRM to Zoho Books in a beautiful way. We're going to put it on display name. So we will go to Zoho Books now. Okay. Okay. I'm looking for. Okay. Okay. I'm looking for, okay, I think this is it. Create contact person. Whew, I've not connected to Zoho Books on this PC. Okay, accept here. Okay, so we put the organization and okay. So let's take the first name. Let's take the last name. It's quite simple. Let's use this one for title. Okay. We need to give this in a variable name, like Zoho Books contacts. I think that is what we didn't put here. Oh yeah, this is salutation. This is what I'm looking for. Good. For this salutation, I need to give it a customized name. Yes, title. Exactly. Okay, so this is fine. What's this? Okay, customer ID. I'm not sure this is a. I think there's something wrong here. Yes, it's create customer, not create contact person. Create customer. Okay. Good. Customer subtype individual. The salutation. We'll remove this. And then we'll put the rest salutation title. Okay. Let's do first name and last name. Then now for display name, we are going to do something interesting. I could as well put full name for display name. But we'll do something quite interesting here. Instead of passing the data straight to Zoho Books, we're going to go to the function that we created, test outlook. And then we're going to pass the data from Zoho CRM to First Outlook. We'll put first name here. Then we'll put last name here. Now our title guy, you put him here. Then you can pass it to customer. And then come up with the salutation here. Under Outlook now. Okay. Now this display name is something that we can
at the gate. Then ask them for images.
So we use this test data. Good. So this is it. So for display name, we'll put status. No, we'll put messages. Okay. Let me see. Yep, I think we're good to go. So our flow is ready. Okay, this is just going to be a simple flow. So let's create a contact. Okay. Let's just put first name, put last name here. Let's put title. Let's make this title doctor. Okay. So this has gone through and it has created the customer. In the blink of an eye. Before I could say Jack Robinson, my display name is now Doctor with my full name in it. And if you refresh Zoho Books, you have Dr. Mogosa name. So that is me now making it work my way. And it's basically because I wanted it this way. If you want to go ahead and edit the function again, okay, let me see. Trigger title. In creating a customer, I added extra characters. This outlook. I think that this is a CRM issue. Okay, I think it just. But bottom line is that we're able to pass data and use it in the way we want using functions. So now that we've done this, it's time for you to try a few things out. Remember with overflow that the functions can be called by any flow. If you look at the bottom of your screen on your left, you see a list of functions that anybody who has access to overflow in your organization can use. So if you are the IT or so, and you want people to have access to functions to use in creating their own flows, you might want to create those functions and just stack them up in here. under settings, custom functions. There's so many.